Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. We're going to start with our feet. As usual, flip-flop weather is coming. So we want nice, strong feet. They're not the best shoes for us. So our feet have to help us out a little bit. We're going to raise and lower. As you lower, flex the tops of the feet toward you. Get as big of a range of motion as you can on the ankles. Need them to be nice and strong. Okay, feet down, toes up, spread them out. Big toes first. Tap and lift. Cores are engaged. We're standing up tall. Press the big toes down and then stretch the other ones out. Lift them all up, take them down, squeeze the floor, and then release and lift. Spread them out again. Go littles. Tap and lift. Keep all the other ones lifted and stretchy. Press the little ones down. Lift them all up. Take them all down. Squeeze your mat. Lift them all up. Spread them out. Okay. Foot challenge. Put the big toes down and the little toes. And see if you can stretch out all the ones in the middle. Lift them. Look down. It's okay. See if they're doing what you think they're doing. Let's take them all up. Take them all down. And then one more time. Squeeze your mat. Release and lift. And then anchor the feet down. We're going to roll to the ball of one foot. Then lower and lift that heel. Trying to keep our balance, trying to keep length in our spines. Stay up, do a little rock, and then back to center. We're going over the top, only if it feels okay. Should feel like a good stretch. The weight's in your standing leg. Okay, let's switch. Ooh, that's a big crack. Lower and lift. Stay up on the ball. Press down, and then roll. Come back to center, and then up and over. Finding that stretch. Okay. Let's roll in, roll out. Just be careful. Just think of rocking from one side of your foot to the other, and then back to the center. Stand up tall, bring the arms up. Extend your upper back if that feels good. Think about the ears tracking, arms tracking in line with the ears. I always say that wrong. Come to center, rotate palms away, round it down. So lifting your belly, you're gonna come all the way down. And I want you just to hang here for a second. If it feels better to get a little bend in your knee, that's all right. I just don't want a lot of pulling behind the knee. So concentrate on how the back is feeling, your hips. And then I want you to bend your arms and cup your elbow with your opposite hand. So if you let your head hang, it's sort of like you've made a little frame for your head. And then you're just gonna let your body sway side to side. So the arms are coming with you. It's not a big swing of the arms. You're letting your spine bend. We need that mobility in our backs. We need to be flexible and strong. So taking them through this range of motion is good. Letting your hips swing in the opposite direction, or stretch in the opposite direction. And then let's slowly work our way back to center. And still letting the head hang. I found I started looking out, so let it be real heavy. And then once you are back in center, let your arms go. And then we're gonna place our hands on our shins and lift our backs up. So now think of a flat back. And we're lifting our tailbones and letting our shoulders slide away from our ears, lifting the chest, getting a flat back, starting to feel some of the muscles in our upper back engage. And then we're gonna bring our chins toward our chests, and then round back down. Let go, let your hands come to the mat. Try that again. Hands to shins, chest lifts, shoulders come back, tailbone lifts. Stretch into those hammies back there. Let your chin come towards your chest, round it down, let your arms hang. Now get a little bend to the knees, start to round your back, and then roll yourself back up and roll the shoulders. Okay, time for the red ball. We're gonna work on balance. So we're gonna hold the ball out front, about shoulder height, lightly holding the ball. I'll go sideways so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm starting with my feet hip width apart. So continuing with that same, or maintaining that same distance, I'm gonna slide my left leg back. And I'm gonna try to feel like I've got equal weight into both legs, both feet. And I'm squeezing my leg muscles and I'm squeezing the legs toward each other. And then just working on just finding that center, finding that balance. So we don't want to be back like this or leaning forward like it's a big lunge. We just want to stagger our feet and find our balance. Now the ball is going to be in our left hand. I bring both arms out to the sides. So not back behind my shoulders. I'm going to turn my head real quick and make sure I'm still in alignment. And I'm going to rotate the palms to face the ceiling. And then my right arm is going to stay out and my left is going to lift and lower. So again, that feeling of my legs squeezing toward each other. And my right arm lengthening to the side. And the left arm coming up toward the ear with the ball. And I'm going to go back to shoulder height. And now with my arms extended, I'm going to twist to the left, keeping my arms reaching long, trying not to let them drift forward. I'm reaching them back. And I'm going to untwist, come back to where I started, and then 5 more lifts with the ball. Core is engaged. Working on balance. Legs squeezing toward each other and pressing all my toes down into the mat. And then the ball's going to come to shoulder height again. And I'm going to twist one more time. And then back to center. I'm going to raise both arms overhead. Both hands on the ball. And it's going to come forward. And I'm going to step in with my left foot. Okay, so back goes the right. Extend the arms out for front. So again, I'm thinking of keeping my feet hip distance apart and legs squeezing together. Finding my balance. And the ball's going to be in the right hand. So we're going to open out to the sides. Shoulders down. Arms nice and long. The arms are not coming back behind the shoulders. They're right in line with them. Turn so your palms are up. And then that right arm is going to lift and lower. I'm thinking of it coming toward my ear. May not make it. Maybe not. Good, 2 more. Legs are engaged. I'm thinking of squeezing the muscles toward the bones. And then we stop at shoulder height. And now twist to the right. Arms reaching back, trying not to let them drift forward. And then untwist, come back to center. And then 1 more round with the ball. Lift and lower. 5 times. Keep the legs squeezing, work on balance. Good, 1 more time. Lift, lower. Take it to shoulder height. And then twist to the right. Arms long, reaching back, untwist. Take both arms up to the ceiling, both hands on the ball. And then the ball comes forward, and then we're gonna step in. Okay, put the ball away for a second. We are coming to the backs of our mats. We're gonna do a roll down and hold our plank for a minute. Set your feet up, in a comfortable stance. Lift up tall, get your cores engaged, get your glutes engaged. Raise the arms up to your sides, or up to your ears, and then round forward, bending. So here's our bend again, belly pulls in, chest reaches to the legs. Get to a point where you can get your hands to the mat. It's okay if that means bending your knees. Keep the core engaged so the belly lifts, bend your spine a little bit more, and then walk out into a plank. So you can be down on your elbows and forearms, or you can have your arms long and straight and settle in. So if your feet are together, it's gonna be a little bit more challenging. If you feel like you need a little more stability today, step them a little bit wider. Push down into the mat with your arms, with your toes. If you are on straight arms, spread out your fingers and thumbs and put a little pressure down into the fingertips to take some of it out of the wrist. And the bellies are lifted. Try not to let your head drop down. Just kind of look to where your hands are. Squeeze your legs. Push into your mat. Just feel like your hips want to reach up without actually moving them. You're just engaging that muscle group. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees down. Here comes child's pose. Reach it back.
chest to the knees. Support your head. You can come all the way to the mat or stack your hands. Take a big breath. Exhale. Lift your belly up off your legs, rounding your back. We're going to transition our weight forward to hands and knees. Place your hands right under your shoulders and spread out your fingers and thumbs, and the knees come under the hips. Roll your shoulders back, lift the chest. Take a big inhale through your nose, fill up your back. Exhale, lifting the belly, rounding. Look back at your hips. Get as much bend in your spine as you can. Now keep that rounding in your spine and let your hips come down to your heels. And then keep the rounding and shift your weight back to where you started. Shoulders are over the hands. And now we come to neutral spine, and we're going to go into cow. So the tailbone lifts and the chest lifts. And keep that reach. And now we shift our hips back. Keep the spine lengthening. Keep the chest lifted. Hips come to the heels. And then we transition back. Come to neutral. Come through neutral, rounding. Let the hips roll under, round as much as you can. Keep that round shape. Shift back to your heels. Shift it forward. Come to neutral. Through neutral. Go to cow. Tail up, chest up, and then shift it back. And shift it forward. And then we go back to neutral spine. Okay, swing it around. Have a seat on your mat. We're back to the red ball. Okay, you're gonna extend the legs out. Put your legs on top of the ball, feet off the front of it, and get your balance. I don't look very balanced today. All right, we wanna be careful that you don't hyperextend your knees down to the mat. So get a little bit of a bend in and then feel the legs squeeze toward each other. And that's gonna give your knees the stability you need. I'm gonna extend my arms out front and drop my shoulders down. From here, I'm gonna roll my hips back behind me and find a place where I can hold. Okay, so the ball gives us this instability up here in the front. Pull your legs toward each other, that's gonna help. I don't know if I don't have a ton of weight down on the ball. Almost feels like they're kind of trying to lift up. And I'm gonna open my arms out to the sides and then bring them back to the front. So this is just adding a little bit of force down into the core. A little open and close. My hands are not going back behind my shoulders. They're kind of staying in front of me, still in peripheral vision. And then the arms are coming forward, and then we're gonna roll forward and lift. Let's go back again. Shoulders come down. We're gonna change the arms here. Just the right arm up toward the ear, and then the left, and then the right, and left. Let's go one more of each. Trying to keep my legs centered. They definitely want to roll away on the ball. So work on that midline. Pulling in, now roll forward and lift. We're gonna go back and hold. Let's take our hands, turn them so palms are down, and then just bring your fingertips down to the mat. So let that help you curve your spine. It's almost like I'm trying to slide my fingers and arms away from me. Now I'm gonna bend the knees and roll the ball in, and then I'm gonna take it back out, and I'm trying to keep the curve in my spine and my fingertips kind of light on the mat. Keep that curve. 2 more. Let's let the legs come out, raise the arms, and then we're gonna come forward and lift. Let the shoulders come down. We're rolling back again. Okay, this is a little combo. If your arms are comfortable here, that's great. You can turn them like this. I like mine turned like that, but you do whatever you can maintain out there. What's gonna happen is we're going to roll the ball toward us, and then we're gonna curl toward the ball. And then we're gonna roll back, and let's do it again. And pull. Keep your knees together if you can. Let's go 3 more for 8. And 2.
and one. Bring it back, and then we're gonna roll forward and bring the arms down. Okay, legs together. We're gonna hold the ball or just your arms out front. Shoulders come down, and we're gonna get that little bit of a roll back again. Okay, so this is gonna be for our obliques. We're gonna get some rotation. I'm gonna go this way, maybe you can see a little bit better. So I'm lengthening my legs, I'm squeezing them together, and I'm gonna take the ball and tap it on the side of me, and I'm gonna come through center and tap the other way. So I'm not raising it really high. I think it's kind of staying chest height or shoulder height. So I'm thinking of continuing to roll back into the back of my hips, so I keep the bend in my spine, and I'm just adding in some oblique work. If this is too much on your shoulders, you can shorten that lever and bring the ball in closer to you and just go side to side. It doesn't have to tap. Same muscles. I don't know, wonder if that feels any different. I'm also trying not to let my feet shift, trying to keep my hips anchored. Let's go a couple more. And then back to center, and then we're gonna roll forward and up. Okay, the ball is gonna go back behind our shoulder blades, and we're gonna take our spines down toward the mat, legs bent, feet flat, about hip distance apart. And I'm walking my feet in toward my hips. Then stack your hands, put them back behind your head, and then come up and over that ball to get a nice back extension. Arms are working back there, supporting the head. If you need to readjust yourself on the ball, do that, because we want to make sure that it feels comfortable for you, that you're feeling this as a good stretch and not any neck strain, not having any strain to your neck. Take a big breath in, feel your rib cage expand out to the sides. Try to get that air in through your nose. And then this time as you exhale, stretch into the back of your neck, lift the chest up, and come into flexion. So not a huge curl forward here, just enough to get you up off of that ball, over that extension. Okay, then we come over again. Feel the rib cage expand to the sides. Picture an accordion. And then the chin comes toward the chest, and we curl up again. And let's go one more time. Up and over. Chin to chest. And curl. All right, we're going to stay here for a second. So from where we are in the ball right now, we're going to do a little curl forward and then just come back. So we're not coming up and over the ball. We're just coming to that spot where we're working a little bit. And try not to lead with your head, but instead to lead with your chest. Like you're kind of folding at the front rib cage. One more. Curl and hold. Arms to the ceiling, arms forward. Walk your feet forward a little bit. Now I want you to start to curl. Don't come up off the ball yet. Find a spot where you're sort of in that limbo. The belly's pulling in. You're curving your spine. If you need to hold back behind your thighs for a little help, go ahead. Otherwise, curl, curl, curl. And then come back up. Okay, we're going to get rid of the ball for now. For now, maybe forever today. Let's bring our knees and feet together. Take your hands, put them back behind your thighs, and then lift up tall. Draw the shoulders down. Pull your belly away from your legs, and then start to curve your spine. We're gonna go until the arms are straight. And you feel like you can balance here for a second. Shoulders come down. You're not actually gonna balance. No V-sits today. And then keep it going. If you need to slide your hands down your legs for a little help, that's okay. But I want you to keep your flexion. Keep your flexion. Bring your right knee in, slide your left leg out, and hover the leg off the floor. Curl your chest toward the leg. Pause here for a second. Feel your shoulders come down away from your ears. Do one slow switch. So you're getting a stretch into the hip of the leg pulling in. Use your arms. Stay lifted. Let's go single leg stretch.
One more each leg. Okay, hold. Take your hands back behind your head. Stretch your bent leg to the ceiling. Let your extended leg lower down toward the mat. We go one slow switch and then scissor 10. I kicked myself. Both legs to the ceiling. Take your shoulders and heads down. Keep your legs reaching up. We're going to take our arms down along our sides, reach them long. We're going to lower our left leg all the way to the mat. Flex the left ankle so your heel is on the mat. The right leg is going to stretch to the ceiling. It's going to come across and then over to the right. Across to the left and over to the right. Keep your hips still. One more. Back to center. Lower the right, raise the left. Flex your right ankle. Stretch your left to the ceiling. Take it across body to right, and then through middle to left. Check in with your back rib cage. Press it down into the mat. One more each way. Bring that left leg back to center. Raise the right up, hold, lower the left. Raise the left, hold, lower the right. Right up, left down. Left up, right down. So we're returning to that midline and to that lifted position. It's flexion in the hips at the top. Each time, come back to that center. Keep your tailbone anchored. Once more right. Okay, bend your knees into your chest, reach for your shins, and get a little rock. Bring your body to the center, feet to the center, knees and feet together. Arms out to your sides. Turn your arms so your palms are up. We're going to bring our knees to the floor on the left. Get the spine twist. Let your face go to the right. Face is center, knees through the middle. Knees to the right. Heads roll to the left, faces go to the left. And then come back to center with your face and then knees to the center. All right, I want to do 100, but only 50. And then we're going to get a side leg sequence. That's really going to work into the hips. So from here, I want you to bring your knees into tabletop. Let your arms be long along your sides. And then we're going to bring our chins toward our chest. Lift the chest up. Let your hands and arms slide along the mat to help lift your chest. Pull your fingers together and raise them. This is a good starting spot for your legs. If you want more challenge, you can go toward the ceiling, or even more, you can lower them down. So you decide where that is for you today. Reach your arms long, and here we go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep reaching, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last set, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stretch long. Now, stay lifted. Pull your legs in if they're not already. Reach for your shins. Roll your shoulders and heads down. And get a little side rock. Okay, feet to the mat. We're going to roll onto our sides. I'm on my right side. We're going to come up onto the elbow, unless this is an issue for your elbow or shoulder. But anyone up on the elbow needs to be aware that this may happen, that you might sink down into that shoulder. So I want you to think of pushing away and engaging all the muscles in your arms, in the shoulder girdle and back, and then making sure that core is engaged. So our bottom leg is going to be bent, and our top leg is going to straighten out. So the legs are still parallel with each other. It's tempting to let the knee come forward, but see if you can get it in line with your bottom leg and that your body's in a nice long line. And we're going to point our top foot and raise that leg to about hip height. So your top hand can be forward for a little extra stability if you want. So from here, this is as low as the leg is going to go. So we're going to point the foot and lift, and then we're going to flex and lower it just to that hip height. Point and lift and flex and lower. Now be careful that that leg doesn't start drifting forward because we want to work on those extensors a little bit. 4, try not to collapse down into the mat. 5. 1 more. Now the leg is going to stay at hip height. We're going to point it. If your neck is bothering you, you can turn your head and look down where your elbow is on the mat. We're going to do some little circles. Move the leg forward and up and back, and forward and up and back. Try not to swing it. Keep your hips real still. Get 3 more. And then let's reverse. Lift away from the mat. Okay, bring the leg all the way down. Now, if you were up on your elbow, we're coming all the way down to the mat. Or you could support your head if you like a bent arm position there. We're going to do that same sequence, but laying flat. It'll be a little easier for the hip, and you'll have a greater range of motion with that top leg. So your bottom leg is straight, it's pressing down into the mat. We're going to point our top foot and lift, find that spot, stretch your leg long, flex at the heel, and come down. Pretend. Keep stretching it. 4, 3, good. 2 more. And then the top leg comes to hip height. Point it and circle. And reverse. 10. And let the leg come all the way down. Bend your knees in towards your chest. We're going to quick flip over onto our backs and get a stretch for that hip. So the working leg, that ankle crosses over the opposite thigh and opens out. So for me, that was my left. Let your shoulders relax. Stretch into the hip. And then uncross. Either spin around or flip over to the other side. So remember, we're starting up on the elbow, if that worked for you, for the other side. Okay, legs in line with each other, bottom leg bent for stability. Careful not to sink down into the shoulder. So we're pressing up and away, almost like someone's got your rib cage and they're lifting you up. Okay, top hand can be in the front for balance if you want. So we're gonna stretch, go to hip height. Again, this is as low as the leg goes. So from there we lift, and it's not a very big range, and then flex. Take it to hip height. Point and lift and flex. Trying not to sink down into the mat. Keep it stretchy. 2 more. Now that leg's going back to hip height, we're pointing, and then here come our circles. Slow and controlled, 10 each way. Lift away from the mat. I think that's 10. And then reverse. Keep the legs stretching away from you. 3, 4, 5. Look down at your elbow if your neck is fatiguing. And then 1 more. Bring the leg down, straighten both legs. We're going all the way down. Stack your hips, find your balance. Same little sequence, different range of motion. Press the bottom leg down and then lift it. Find your balance, get that length. Flex the ankle, lower down and lift and lower. Keep it stretching. Keep your hips stacked. And one more. Top leg goes to hip height. We point that foot, and here come our circles. Come around. Try not to tense your neck and shoulders. Keep that leg stretching. And then let's reverse. Last 10. Last one, and bring it down. Bend your knees, roll onto your back. Oh my gosh, my hip was burning. Let's cross the ankle of that working leg over the opposite thigh and open out. That hurt way more than I thought it was going to. Lifting up on that elbow does make a big difference. I hope you felt that too. It's not just me. All right, get a stretch into that hip, another second or two. And then we're gonna bring that knee into our chest and then bring the other one in. And stretch into the low back. So let the knees pull way in, hands on shins, or as always, if that's too much flexion for your knees, take it back to the backs of your thighs and then just get a little rock. And then work your way back to center. Feet to the mat, arms straight up to the ceiling. Stretch out your legs. All right, we're going for a roll up. Shoulders are down, legs squeezed together. Take a breath in. As you start to lower your arms, connect with the underarms. Lift the chest, press down into the mat and roll forward, reaching. Come over the legs. Let your hands come down wherever that is. Hold on. Don't bounce. Just a long, gentle pull. Hips reaching back. Spine reaching back. Let your hands come to the mat, slide them in, lift up tall, and roll the shoulders. Okay, here comes an ab sequence. So, bend your knees, knees and feet together, hands behind your thighs. Pull the belly in, round it, roll it back, come all the way down. Shoulders to the mat, arms along your sides. Slide the feet in, take your knees up into tabletop. Okay, we're gonna do this first sequence with the head and shoulders down on the mat, and then we're gonna do it with an option to go up into flexion. So when my knees are in tabletop, I sometimes feel my hips kind of tuck under. So I'm gonna consciously bring my pelvis back to neutral. So my tailbone is heavier than the waistband of my pants. And then we're gonna do toe taps, reciprocals, right? So the right toe taps down, and as it raises, we switch in the left. So these guys are passing each other right in the middle. And 3. We're gonna do sets of 8, if I can remember. And one more each leg. Both knees back to tabletop. Now we're gonna take our hands, stack them back behind our heads. Let them do some support work back there. The chin comes toward the chest to stretch the neck, and we lift our chest up. Okay, so again, I felt myself tuck under, so I'm making sure my pelvis is in neutral as much as it can be. And then my right toe is gonna tap down, and then they're gonna pass each other in the middle. And 2, we're gonna do 8 sets. Keep the flexion in your spine. So the chest is reaching toward the legs. And 5. And 8. And 8. Both back to the center. We're going to take our shoulders and heads down. Now we're going to do reciprocal toe taps with crisscross. If that is not going to work for you today, just keep your heads and shoulders down here. All right, if you're on board, we're going to stretch the back of our neck, backs. We're gonna lift chest up toward the legs. All right, that right toe comes down again, and just pause here for a second. Rotate toward the left leg. Imagine that your right underarm is reaching across your body toward the left hip. And then as we switch, we rotate. And there's 2 sets. We're doing 8, 3, and 4. Bring everything back to center, tabletop your legs, come back down. But wait, there's more. Hands behind your head. If you were taking a break and had your head and shoulders on the mat, let's try this in flexion. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, stretch the backs of your necks, come up into flexion. Right knee comes in, left leg extends out. Rotate toward the right leg, crisscross. 10 sets this time, and 9. Keep your flexion, 8, twist, 7. One more each leg, hang on. Tabletop both legs, shoulders and heads come down. Now let's give a little break to our backs and necks. So reach for your shins or backs of your thighs, bring it in. Let your shoulders relax. While the legs are in here, let's turn our heads to the right and then just bring them through center, turn them to the left. Little break. Back to center. But wait, there's more. Knees go to tabletop. Hands come back behind your head again. We're gonna do a scissor crisscross. So again, the option, you can have your head and shoulders down on the mat. Don't worry about crisscross, but just do scissors. If everybody else is up for it, let's go. Chins toward our chest, stretching the back of the neck. Up into flexion we go. Right leg up, left leg extends. Hold here for a second. Keep your flexion, rotate toward that extended leg. So you're twisting, your left underarm is reaching toward the right hip, and then here we go. 10 sets, and 9. Keep your flexion, 8. One more each leg. Both legs up, center your body. Bring your knees in, take it down, reach for your shins. Get a little side rock. Bodies to center. One more. Knees to tabletop. Extend your legs up to the ceiling. Option to have head and shoulders down for this. Stack your hands, put them back behind your head. If you want to try this in flexion, bring your pelvis to neutral. Back of the neck stretch, we lift up into flexion. Now you're gonna externally rotate your legs so your heels are together making a V. The chest is reaching toward the legs. We're gonna open our legs about as wide as our mats, cross one in front of the other. Open and switch, and open and switch. Keep the legs active, really squeeze them. Squeeze and squeeze. If you kick yourself, that happens. Also, if you're getting a calf cramp, like I am, you can flex one leg. It looks a little crazy, but let's see what you can do. Keep the legs active. Try not to fly around a lot. It's hard, especially the faster you go with your legs. Just work and work. Let's go. 5 and 4, 3, 2. Keep your chest lifted. 1. Legs together. Come back to parallel. Pull your knees into your chest. Shoulders and heads go down. Reach for your legs and side rock. Okay, feet to the mat. Arms out wide, palms up. Knees go to the floor on the left. Let your head roll to the right. Faces to the right, nice and long arms. Take a big breath through the nose. Faces back to center, knees through the middle to the floor on the right. Heads to the left, faces look off to the left. And then faces back to center, legs to center. Let's leave the left leg bent. Bring the right leg in toward your chest. And now we're going to straighten it toward the ceiling. And as we do that, we'll slide the left leg out. So now we've got a hammy stretch on that right leg, and then a hip extension for the left. So wherever you're holding, whether it's the calf or a thigh, just not right behind the knee, take a second and let your shoulders relax here so you don't have that tension up in the neck and shoulders. And then we're going to do a slow flex of the ankle. If you can, reach for your foot. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I ain't got it. And then we're going to release that ankle, point, and then circle 3 times. So continuing with some of that ankle and footwork, let's reverse. 3, 2, and 1. Now scrunch up your toes and spread them out. You can do that with it flexed or pointed. Just kind of pay attention to some of those muscles there, see what you can do. And then we're going to bring that knee back into our chest. So your left hand is going to stay on your right shin, right arm along your side, and we're just going to add another little rotation. My left elbow is coming down to the mat, just to stretch into the hip a little bit more. You can press your leg up into your hand to increase that resistance, and then come back to center. Okay, right foot comes to the mat with the leg bent. Slide your left leg in, bring your left knee to your chest, shoulder down, shoulders down. Straighten out your right leg as the left leg extends to the ceiling. Give a big stretch, bring it in. Release the tension in your shoulders. Slowly flex the ankle. Maybe you can I can't get my foot on that side very well. We all know which was our tight side and which is our stretchy side. Release the ankle. And then we're going to circle 3 times. And then reverse. And then scrunch it up, spread it out. Scrunches, work through some of those muscles in your feet. And bring the knee back into your chest. Let's bring the right back into. And rock one more time. Feel your tailbone lift up off the mat so you can really stretch into the low back. And if you get side to side, you can kind of get into some of those muscles along the sides of your back. Bring yourself to center, feet to the mat. All right, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do a roll up. Try a roll up if you want. I'm gonna hold on to the backs of my legs and sort of pull myself up as I stretch the legs out. And then I'm gonna round over the legs, reaching. And just come down wherever that is for you. Stretch into your back one more time. Then release where you're holding, bring your hands to the mat, and then sit up nice and tall and roll the shoulders. Okay, nice job today, you guys. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next week.